Words about books, Ben.
Swords about books, Nate.
Are you ready, brother?
I'm ready, brother.
Are you ready for Nate's Nightmare November, just in general, Ben?
I'm ready for the break. I kind of burnt out
Yeah.
on everything. I actually did the math. I think I put out last month
Way too many episodes because you also did a second
words about
second
books episodes.
podcast.
No, I did 6 words about books episodes. There were 4 Nuzzle House episodes. Now I didn't record. I don't edit those, and I didn't record all of those in October. They were recorded earlier, but I had.
You're cheating on this podcast with another podcast. That's on you.
I also do heroin addiction with Isekai Sensei.
But we knew about that a long time ago. You know, that's part of this polycule.
It's part of the polycule. He gives you money, so you let it go. No, but I think I actually may have had the most output of my entire, like the highest productive month of my podcast career last month, while my wife needed to have surgery and while I was getting crushed at work. And,
you're getting destroyed at work.
Yeah, so I've taken a bunch of time off work. I've taken a month off editing for this podcast and reading for this podcast. You
didn't even need to add an like we were like, how about we just do a bonus episode, Night of the Living Dummy, for the patrons, and then you're like, how about we do another Jeff the Killer, almost an hour and a half.
I would read a creepypasta every day for free.
You know what? We might test that someday.
That was not the problem. That month in October, Jane the Killer was the only thing that brought me joy that month. You know, and the Exorcist conversation that got into a lot of like weird religious stuff, and I was kind of afraid people would be.
That did pretty good for us.
People would be opinionated, but it did good. The conversation was respectful. I think it was okay. But we're here for Nate's Nightmare November.
Speaking of respectful conversation,
I was going to say, I want to have an equally respectful conversation about Hulk Hogan. I'm sorry I keep making fun of I'm sorry I've implied that the only way he can have sex is to also talk about race. I'm sorry that I've called his father numerous times to tell him he dropped out of a bunch of stuff. I'm going to try to keep it really above board this time. We're going to punch above the belt.
Well, last time, if you recall, he dropped out of college, dropped out of his band, dropped out of wrestling, and then got fired by Vince McMahon Sr. for shooting Rocky 3. But he's still in wrestling. He's wrestling in Japan. He also
quit being a dock worker.
That's true. He quit that several times.
Yeah.
So
because he didn't want to die a blue collar life. He wants to die. He wanted to live a blue collar life and then die a blue collar death. He wanted to live a classy life.
Yeah, all those cars, brother.
Yeah, he had a lot of cars.
He has a shitload of cars. He has so many fucking cars, man.
And I believe he was marrying a horse or something.
That's where we left last time. He ran into a woman built like a racehorse with those muscular legs and that ass. A valley girl who was playing hard to get and was successful in her own right because she owned a nail salon, Ben.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give her that. She owned a business.
And, well, he proposes to her. Like, stupidly fast. Like, I think less than a year, maybe, of dating. It's hard to tell with him. But it sounds like they went on a few dates, and then he was like, this is the one, brother.
He just had to lock in that there's not too many women that look like a horse.
Not like a racehorse. Not like this one, you know?
No, not like a thoroughbred racehorse.
Thoroughbred. That's the word. Yeah. Thoroughbred. Those muscular legs.
I mean, since we're talking about an animal, I guess it doesn't matter either way, but he knows those are male horses, right?
Well, as long as their dicks don't touch, Ben. We went over this last time.
Okay.
So the story goes that Linda and her mom went to see. Oh, fuck, I didn't write down the other movie. So let's say E.T., even though that probably came out later in the 80s. But the line was too long, so instead they went to see Rocky 3. Which is, I'm pretty sure it wasn't E.T., but it's really funny if that was the case. Like, we can't see this movie by Spielberg about a funny alien. Let's go see Stallone punch a guy. So that's when they found out, like, oh my god, you're dating a fancy movie star, Thunder Lips.
Yeah, okay. You're dating the guy who got paid 10 grand to be in Rocky 3 for a little bit.
14 grand. He negotiated up from 10, brother.
And as we established with Jane the Killer, that does set one for life.
God damn right. And this was the 80s, so, that was like $2 billion in the 80s, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure inflation just really fucked us, So he writes, in retrospect, Linda and her whole family probably thought they caught themselves a sucker fish.
You said it.
Yeah, I did say you do paint yourself as a huge sucker fish.
No, what's the wrestling word? Yeah, mark?
A mark. But he's not a mark. He believed he had a destiny, brother. He had a destiny to be the greatest wrestler of all time. So he wasn't a mark.
I mean, is that really like a destiny? I mean, like,
did you see those pythons, dude? Dude was jacked.
Your pythons.
He said
we've established Scott Steiner had crazier pythons.
Yeah, but not back then. Scott Steiner had yet to take his vitamins. He wasn't on those Flintstones chewables back then. I mean, Scott had a good body, but he didn't have a bicep on his bicep until the 90s. Well, that's why Scott Steiner wasn't a main event act in the 80s, Ben. Didn't have that second bicep.
All right.
So
I've been told.
Yeah, Hogan, on the other hand, said he needed really big arms and a big belly. You don't want to have abs because the average common man can't relate to abs, dude.
It's true. I'll give him that. I can't relate to having abs.
Yeah.
I don't know what that would be like. I've never had them.
I'm doing
and
crunches.
I never will.
I hate him. Crunches are the fucking worst.
Hey,
I'll lift all day, every day. Crunches
I do crunches all day instead of plank.
Oh, yeah.
Plank will teach you what a minute is. I saw a video on TikTok of a girl in the plank position saying, I need to apologize to all men. A minute is a very long time.
Good. I accept your apology on behalf of all men. So this is where his brother Alan shows back up as a member of Hell's Angels. And I'm going to cut that long story short, Ben. In about a year, he's going to overdose and die. And then his ex-wife, who he had 3 kids with, will get shot by her boyfriend in the same year.
Jesus.
Yeah. That's fucked.
So Hulk Hogan took in those kids, right?
His parents did. Yeah.
So Hulk Hogan financially supported those kids, right?
His dad had a job, Ben, working on those docks. He had a wife to support, Ben.
She owns her own business.
Well, we'll find out more about that as time goes on. But so Hogan joins the AWA out of, I forgot to write down where they were out of. I don't think they were not Memphis, but AWA, one of the top promotions in the country. Now, he doesn't really talk about his life inside the ring because this is Hogan's life outside of the ring. My Life Outside of the Ring is the name of the book. So, he quickly is called by Vince McMahon Jr., everybody's favorite alleged sex trafficking pedophile man. Actually, no, I think she was actually of age. So he was sex trafficking adults. I don't think that makes it better because it's
No,
still
it's
really
not.
bad.
It's pretty bad.
So,
yeah. No, what made Vince McMahon decide he wants to look like zombie Walt Disney?
yeah, that is impressive. And even Joe Rogan is like he's juicing. Like obviously he's on something. He's like in his 80s and he's still fucking jacked. And he must have the world's greatest genetics because his heart has not exploded. I would be happy to look that good in my 20s.
No, you just gotta be
Peak.
you just gotta
or
be
half
evil.
that good. There's just gotta
be evil, and then you'll never die.
Evil. Yeah, I did see a YouTube comment that every time a wrestler dies before their time, Vince McMahon steals their power.
Yep.
So that might be the case.
No, that's the deal he made.
So Vince McMahon Jr. has a clandestine deal. He comes down to Hogan, he meets him where he's at, and he's like, "Hey, I'm about to buy the company from my old man. I think that it was dumb that you got fired for being a movie star," which, to be fair, that is dumb. One of your top guys is in a movie, you capitalize on that. You promote that. You don't fire him for being a movie star. It's not like he had like a huge part. He only filmed for like a week or something. But anyway, Vince McMahon Jr. is like, you come in, you're going to be the champion. I got all these plans for expanding and basically turning this into a two business deal as I try to monopolize this. And I need Hulkamania, brother. And Hulk Hogan was like, you son of a bitch, I'm in. And then they get there in January of, it's either 83 or 84. I'm not going back to look it up. It's the year he won the title from the Iron Sheik. I'm pretty sure it's 84, but someone will come in and be like, no, that was 83, you dummy. So that's fair. But Vince McMahon Sr. almost goes back on the deal, and Hulk Hogan says, because Bob Backlund was whining. Bob Backlund was the top babyface at the time. He lost the title to the Iron Sheik. He was going to get the title back, and he just didn't recognize that Hulk Hogan was going to take us to the next level, brother, and everyone was going to get better paydays with Hulk Hogan at the top, and Bob Backlund's just trying to protect his spot like a bitch.
Did that turn out not to be true?
And well, he does take it to the next level. A lot of the money does go to Hulk Hogan.
Everybody else getting a better pay because of Hulk Hogan.
I mean, everybody does get better deals, but yeah, it's mostly Hulk, you know?
Yeah.
It's also funny because Hulk Hogan is the one talking about someone whining about protecting their spot at the top, when Hulk Hogan is like the king of saying, that doesn't work for me, brother, and just fucking someone over in order to stay on top. And by the way, he barely mentions WCW in this. He doesn't mention Sting at all, a guy who he fucked over to stay on top. He barely mentions anyone in WCW. He just kind of glazes over all of that.
Well, yeah. I don't
It makes him look bad.
Yeah. I don't think
makes
there's
him
really
look bad that he was making $3 to $5 million a year, and he would not lose to anybody. But no, Bob Backlund's the problem. He wouldn't relinquish a spot. So Vince McMahon Jr. talks to his dad, and whatever they say, whatever he says to his dad, convinces his dad to go ahead with the plan of Hogan's winning the belt. And then Hogan tells a story about how, like, in Madison Square Garden or whatever, there's like a bathroom, you go up some steps or whatever. And anyway, I went in there, didn't realize anyone else was in there, and Vince McMahon Sr.'s pissing in a urinal, and it's just pure blood, just pure red, pissing blood. And so he goes and tells Pat Patterson, that guy who wanted him to suck his dick. And he's like, so I saw this weird thing, brother. Vince McMahon Sr. is just pissing Kool-Aid just right out of his urethra, dude. Just bright red blood everywhere. And so he told
there's
Vince
been
McMahon
a couple
Jr.
of times. There's been a couple of times you've stopped this podcast dead to be like, Ben, you're on your crazy bullshit. What are we even doing here? And I feel compelled at this point to be like, where is this going?
Vince McMahon Sr. dies.
No
He
shit.
dies of cancer.
Okay.
He's got super cancer. He's fucking dead very soon.
I am officially retired. I got the pee-pee cancer. And there ain't a thing on earth nobody can do to fix me.
And Vince McMahon Jr. is now on top, and Hulkamania is running wild. And he glazes over a lot of the WWE stuff, or back then it was WWF before the World Wildlife Fund fucked them. Rightfully so. They definitely were not supposed to use WWF on all their material, and they did. He talks about how he and Vince McMahon went into a hotel for 48 hours straight and wrote No Holds Barred, a movie that made a ton of money, he said. Google says that lost money, but maybe Hulk Hogan made a ton of money. Maybe that was maybe the Hulkster wasn't looking at how much money the movie made and just how much money he made.
Well, the production company went bankrupt, but they had to pay all the employees, which were Hulk Hogan and Vince McMahon.
He also doesn't mention any of his other 2 or 3 movies that also
what was the one he
flops?
was in?
Mr. Nanny, Santa with Muscles. Okay.
Yes, Mr. Nanny. That's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah. He doesn't even mention that one.
No, it's probably not up with his masculine persona.
So this is when he talks about how the cocaine doesn't affect him that way, brother. And then
you wouldn't know
when he gives his brother some money, and then his brother went and used that money and shot up and killed himself with an overdose. And that's when Hogan decides to quit the cocaine, dude.
Oh, okay. That was a roller coaster of I didn't know you were on cocaine to, and that's how I quit cocaine. It sounds like you just mentioned that because you wanted me to congratulate you on quitting. But like, if you never did that much, like if you did cocaine once in a while and it never,
I just did a few lines, brother, and then I flushed
that's a
the
lot
rest
of cocaine.
down. Just a few lines, dude. It didn't affect. It just made me jittery. It just made me jittery, dude. It didn't affect me in that way.
A few lines is a lot of cocaine.
It's just a few lines, dude.
That's a lot. How many? What does he consider a lot?
I think an entire 8-ball. I don't know how much an 8-ball is. How many lines are in an 8-ball?
Oh, you're asking. I
don't know. Can we get measurements here? How many grams or ounces
not here,
or cups?
So I have no idea. But I could tell you, I've never personally witnessed anyone do more than one line.
Well, he only did 2 or 3, and it just made him jittery, so he flushed the rest. Brother.
No, he didn't.
He kept buying all this excess cocaine that he would just flush.
No, he didn't.
And he stopped after his brother overdosed of something.
I hope he did. But so there was a guy I went to high school with, and when we were at prom, I think I asked him if he was driving home because he was clearly intoxicated. And he said, "No, I could drive drunk. It doesn't affect me." And
oh, God. Oh, jeez.
No, this was weird because like he had a real moment of like awareness where like I said to him, "Okay, but yeah, you wouldn't know though, right? Because when you're drunk, like you think you're walking straight, but you're not." And I said, "So like you could be all over the road, but you think you're going straight because that's what alcohol does to you." And he's like, he just had this moment where he was like, "No, I'd know. Would I?" And
no, let's call a cab.
Yeah, I was like, somebody gave him a ride home, but it was like he'd never considered before that it
doesn't affect me that way.
Because I said,
like cocaine didn't affect Hulk Hogan that way.
Like if drunk people were aware that they were drifting all over the road, they wouldn't do it. That's the problem. Like it never occurred to him that it would affect his sense of himself as well as perhaps
That
other
just
things.
made him jittery.
Yeah.
And then he flushed the rest of the cocaine. That's
it just
all.
made me jittery, and then Ghost broke in, smashed up my hotel room, and I don't know. This is on you for renting me a haunted hotel room.
And of course I had to fight the ghosts. You see these pythons? They don't run, Jack.
Okay, so Hulk Hogan, hero, addict.
Well, he's not an addict because he just flushed it all and then he didn't take it anymore after his brother died.
Okay, well then you weren't addicted and it wasn't that hard to quit.
Yeah, it didn't affect him, dude.
Okay, then why?
It only made him jittery.
I don't care. Do you want to hear about how I smoked in college? I don't.
And then he talks about how he wrestled 400 days a year, Ben.
I've heard this because of the time zones.
Yeah, because he'd go over to Japan, he'd wrestle, and then he'd come back. And you lose time when you travel, so he would be wrestling the same day or in the past. And that's how time works, Ben.
Yeah.
You wouldn't just gain that time back coming across the ocean. So...
Yeah, well, so I guess the only question is, like, is he that dumb? Does he believe that? Or does he think everybody else is so dumb that they'll believe that?
Maybe both. He never even wrestled enough, like, even with his crazy Martian logic that doesn't make any fucking sense. He never wrestled enough to do that. He didn't wrestle 400 dates. There's no record of him ever doing that.
Well, did he wrestle 300 dates?
Maybe.
Because that would be my
probably
question.
Not.
Yeah, probably not, right? Because they don't have wrestling matches every day. Like, who's going to a Tuesday?
You're in the sky on a plane for, what was it, like 13 or 14 hours?
Yeah, well, who's going to like a Tuesday afternoon wrestling match? I guess that's my thing. So yeah, I guess that's my thing. It's like, obviously he didn't. We all know he didn't.
He kept gaining days, Ben. He just kept gaining them.
Does he expect us to believe that?
He's written it in his book and he said it in many interviews. So you've got to believe him, brother.
But is that just like, I'm honestly asking. Because I've always seen this as like a quote pulled out. I've never seen it in context. Is he like putting on the show when he's saying this?
He randomly says, "When I tell you I've wrestled 400 days a year, I'm not exaggerating."
Okay, because I was going to say, like, if he said it in the midst of like, and Hulkamania's gonna run wild on you. I wrestle 400 days a year, brother.
No, like, this is him telling us in the book. It's not a promo he's cutting.
Okay. Well, then he's very stupid.
He also talks about how, and you could go back and watch it, and I did. When he beat the Iron Sheik for the title, he blew out his knee, Ben. What do you think of when you think of a blown knee? I think of serious damage to the ligaments, like the ACL, the MCL, or the patella itself. Like you actually cracked your knee, like bone.
I would think like a knee dislocation. So yeah, so like a torn ligament or something like that, where the knee went further than it should go in some direction it should not go.
Yeah, well, he said he blew out his knee, but there's no security in wrestling. And if I told Vince McMahon, he would pull me, and I wouldn't be the champion. I'd come back in 6 to 8 months, and who knows where we'd be at. So I just didn't tell him, brother. And
you think if you told Vince McMahon that you had a blown knee, he'd be like, "You need to take 8 months and take care of that." You think that's what Vince McMahon was going to say to you?
Yeah, he's always known for his compassion, Ben.
Yeah, Vince McMahon's going to be like, "Well, Hulk, with a blown knee, the doctors aren't going to clear you. You're going to have to take 8 months, rehab that knee, get some surgery on it. Those are the rules of the league. We run a really professional shop here. Okay. So I can't be having that. The wrestlers union, like the players union, we've got rules.
Instead, he wrestled on a blown out knee for 12 years or something, Ben.
Okay.
So I rewatched the match.
If I
the
tell
knee that
you...
hit, he says there's a board in the ring that was sticking up, and I rewatched the match. His knee does not go more than a few inches. The one that actually hits the canvas. I can believe maybe he hurt his knee, like it was a little funny to walk on afterwards, but he got over it in a few days. He did not blow his knee out. He did not destroy his knee. He was running around the ring the entire time. You don't just run around like just pure muscle, brother. Just replace the ligament with all muscle. I blew out my knee and I just kept working for 12 years, Jack.
Replace the knee ligament with knee muscle?
Yeah. I don't know what his explanation is for he blew out his knee. Like, it wasn't a blowout. I can imagine maybe it felt a little funny, you hit a little weird, and it didn't feel right for a while, but like you did not destroy your ligaments, buddy.
Well, okay, here's the impression I get from Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan hurt his knee. Hulk Hogan feels he's not capable of empathy or sympathy or whatever the word I'm looking for is with another human being. So he can't imagine that other people also experience pain and carry on throughout their day. So now that Hulk Hogan has experienced pain and is carrying on throughout his day, he is a hero. He is the first human being to ever do that. And he will be the last. There will never be another like him. There will never be another who could work with a sore knee.
Yeah, he actually says, he talks about pain. For some reason, he starts talking about how he bladed, brother. He'd keep a blade in his mouth. He'd take it out. He'd swipe and get all the blood. And then he talks about, again, how he blew his knee out. And then he says, the new generation, they tear a bicep and they go, whoa, they'll go get surgery. The implication being like a bitch. He even says John Cena had 2 fingers go numb in an injury, which, by the way, that injury is probably when he broke his neck. He immediately went under the knife to get spinal fusion. He doesn't say anything bad about John Cena, but the implication is John Cena can't measure up to Hulk Hogan, because Hulk Hogan would have kept wrestling with fingers going numb, his neck falling apart, brother.
Would you?
Hey, he talks about how The Undertaker broke his neck, brother.
Well,
the infamous story. I'll do it in short because Undertaker said it so much better. Undertaker was going to win the title that night. And Hulk Hogan says this wasn't even the Undertaker's fault. I imagine he said it wasn't the Undertaker's fault because the Undertaker was still a top guy in 2005 when this book was publishing, and he didn't want to make enemies. Because if Undertaker's career fell apart, he probably would have been like, the Undertaker was a huge fuck up, and he fucked everything up, and he sucks. But because the Undertaker is still a top guy, he's like, well, it wasn't his fault. He was green. He's still
got to get back in the ring with the Undertaker, and he doesn't want the Undertaker to kick the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what had happened is he takes the Undertaker aside before the match. He's like, I'm really worried about taking the tombstone. And the Undertaker is like, don't worry, your head's never going to touch the canvas. So they get to the finish. Ric Flair slides a chair in the ring. Undertaker hits the tombstone, and Hogan goes, "You got me, brother." And Undertaker wins, and he goes to the back. And this is supposed to be like a huge deal. He's now the top guy. He won the world championship a year into being in the WWF. And all he can think about is, I'm going to get fired. I just injured Golden Goose, top guy. I fucked up. Oh my God, they're going to take the title off me. They're going to fire me. I'm done. I'm fucked. He goes to the back. Hogan is laying down in Vince's office saying, like, tell my wife and kids, call Linda. Oh my God. And Shane McMahon, who is Vince's son, is like, Mark, which is Undertaker's name, Mark, his head never touched. But there's no instant replay back then. You can't just watch it the same night. Undertaker, he was supposed to go out for like a celebration with his family for dinner, but he's backstage for so long they have to go like to a shitty like takeout joint or something. Like he feels miserable, but then by the next time they meet, less than a week later, he has watched the tape. His head never touched. His head was nowhere near the fucking mat. And so he goes to pull Hogan aside. He's like, hey man, I watched the footage back. Your head never touched. And Hulk feeds him a line of like, well, it was actually because you cinched me up so tight. I had nowhere to go. So when you hit the move, like my whole body is so muscular, it wrenched my neck, dude. And so that's when Undertaker.
Baggins. This is Zach Baggins for you.
Yeah. So that's when the Undertaker knew Hogan was a lying piece of shit. And this is where Hogan talks about how like he injured his neck and it never got better, but he did get some deep tissue massage, brother, because he couldn't go under the knife that put him out of action for too long. We're gonna massage your neck back into place, brother.
You know what? I see what's going on here. Hulk Hogan's afraid of doctors. Hulk Hogan's afraid to have surgery.
Well, yeah, there's no security in wrestling, Jack.
Yeah, no, that's not why. He's afraid to be cut.
Well, later in his career, he gets cut all the fucking time.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
He has so many surgeries towards the end of his career, but that's because he was shouldering the burden for so long, dude. That's because he was the top guy. He never went under the knife for like 12 years with a busted neck and a busted knee and a torn arm. I ripped my entire back out when I slammed Andre the Giant. And don't even get me started that one time I threw my arm out of his arm during baseball, dude.
Okay, well, do you ever think maybe you shouldn't have done that? Like, do you ever think what would be different if you'd gotten surgery?
Someone else would have been the world champion. And then I would have come back and someone else would have been on top.
Are they just having these like world championship matches every week? You can't have surgery in the off season?
There is no off season in professional wrestling, brother.
There definitely is.
There is no off-season in wrestling when you're the champion, dude.
Almost especially when you're the champion.
I gotta be at every event, Jack.
Were you?
Every house show, every Japanese show,
you fucking
every pay-per-view show.
Every pay-per-view, yeah. But...
When TV came along, every TV show, brother.
He absolutely was not. I was watching
every show, Jack. Every single one, dude.
I was watching wrestling during some of this time. He absolutely was not.
He did have a high work output in the 80s.
Okay.
I will give him that. I don't think he actually busted his knee or tore out his every muscle in his back, because if you tore every muscle in your back, it doesn't matter how muscular you are at that point. Your back is not going to work.
I don't know.
Oh, maybe it just made him stronger.
Yeah, it just muscled harder.
his muscles tore in half, and now he has double the muscle. That's just math.
Well, that's how building muscle works. You got to damage the muscles, and then they grow back bigger. And the more you damage them, the more strong you are.
So now back to Linda. Because during all this time, Linda starts yelling at him for, quote, no reason. But he does just say he remembers his career and he was numb to, and he never slowed down for even his marriage, and like his career is just kind of a blur at this point. So I'm sure that there might have been some legitimate criticisms and complaints. And he also says that like every time we had a fight, I forgave her, and the next day we just moved on. And I'm like, but did she forgive you?
Well, let me ask you this.
It sounds
question.
like no.
Let me ask you a question, Hulkster. You mentioned at the beginning of the book that you're not trying to change my opinion.
Whenever we had a fight, I just get over it and move on. That's a quote from the book, Jack. That's what I did.
What does he think my opinion of him is?
Did you know that Linda had sex with her PE teacher? I don't know why that's in this book, but she told me once, Jack.
Seems like she was a victim in that scenario. But...
She bragged about it, dude. She was into it, is what I'm saying in this book.
I don't know that she necessarily had the capacity to decide if she was into it or not.
She had fits of rage all the time. Yeah, I asked her mother, and her mother was like, yeah, she has fits of rage. And then she said, you married her, and like laughed at me, dude.
It sounds like she experienced like sexual trauma as a minor, and yeah, she's having a sort of PTSD response to it, maybe. I'm sure that the dating Hulk Hogan, sensitive man that he is when it comes to those matters, probably helped.
Hey, they have a kid, all right? He stopped steroids, she stopped drinking, and they made Brooke. And then she just stopped her birth control for 6 months and didn't tell Hulk Hogan, and they made Nick after that. And he was like, what the fuck? You should have told me I was going to stop the steroids so we could conceive clean, dude. Which kind of makes you realize, like, he knew that I dedicate this book to my
son, Nick. Drug-addled mistake that he is.
So, yeah, he even mentions that, like this kind of highlights there is an awareness that steroids maybe aren't good for you. So the excuse of, like, we didn't know back then, but, like, you were going to stop them to have kids. So you had to know something, right?
Okay.
But he's a family man now. So Linda came off the road to raise their kid, and every time he could, he would always have a few hours of layover in Florida so he could see his family before he flies to the show. And Vince was like, oh my God, why are you doing that? And it's because I want to see my kids, brother.
I believe that Vince had a problem with that. I also believe that's crazy. You're bragging about this. Okay.
Any significant... So this is going back to the injury, Ben, because he talks about how he just handed all of his money to Linda. All of his money went to Linda. And any significant break from wrestling meant a significant break from the steady stream of income to my wife. That's a quote. It was all her, dude. She was buying all these cars that he was enjoying and all these fancy houses. That was her, brother.
I'm surprised.
Money changed her, dude.
I'm surprised he even noticed, considering the minimalist Zen lifestyle he lives.
So then we get into the steroid trial, Ben. Steroid scandal. He always thought Dr. Zahorian was a nice guy who would come in with a briefcase just full of goodies for all the boys. And he would just order drugs direct, like steroids. And one time he called Dr. Zahorian, and they started talking, and suddenly he abruptly hung up, and he received a message from his lawyer that they can't talk anymore. So they go to the steroid trial, and now suddenly he's getting signs in the crowd about how, taking your vitamins actually meant taking your steroids. So he went on Arsenio Hall, a talk show, Ben.
I'm aware of what Arsenio Hall is.
And this is where they said, did you do steroids? And he said, I absolutely did not do steroids. And in this book, he says, well, that was truthful because he'd stopped the steroids a few years prior, but it wasn't honest. It was truthful, but not honest, Jack. You see what I'm saying? Like, he did do steroids, but he was saying how he wasn't doing steroids, like, at that time. He just didn't mention the at that time categorizer, And everyone told him he shouldn't have gone on the talk show, and he should have listened, Jack.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah, no, I think Vince was actually pretty pissed that he went on that.
Is Vince ever happy?
So then he talks about, and the timeline's a little muddled here. This might be my bad, but maybe he jumps back and forth. He does talk about how he got hit in the face by a jet ski, and that and that he didn't die. It hit him right in the fucking eye, but like it didn't cream his entire fucking head, right? He has to say this because the prevailing rumor, Ben, is that Macho Man punched him in the face backstage. So he had to say, no, that was a jet ski accident.
He thinks getting paint a picture for me. Hulk Hogan's bobbing in the water, right?
Yes, he falls off his jet ski. He says, like, all right, I knew that it was going to come back after me, so I was just going to wait underwater, but my stupid flotation device forced me up out of the water, and it mashed me right in the eyeball.
He thinks that...
I think I've broken you.
He thinks that... I'm just picturing a man... Was this jet ski coming at speed, or like...
It sounds like he was coming pretty fucking fast. It sounds like he should be dead. You know?
Yeah, you're dead.
Yeah, it sounds like if you get hit in the head by a speeding jet ski, no amount of jacked pythons are going to save you from dying.
Oh, dear. Yeah, no, why would he not want to admit he just got...
Because the Macho Man punched him in the face, and that means he lost a fight.
Why does it just say training accident?
Because that would imply that someone could harm the great Hulk Hogan. Let's just go with jet ski to the face.
You just told me that...
It will make me seem valiant.
You just told me the Undertaker blew your knee out. Or
no, blew his neck out. Yeah. Yeah. No, the ring blew his knee out, brother.
Okay, the ring
blew loose board destroyed his knee, but he wrestled on it for 12 more years or whatever.
Yeah, and then the Undertaker broke your neck. So, like, why couldn't you just say, like...
I don't want to give Macho Man the satisfaction.
You don't have to say it was Macho Man.
I don't even think he really mentions the Macho Man in this book at all.
Okay.
Because fuck him, dude. Hulk Hogan swears that he and Macho Man buried the hatchet after Macho Man passed. Or before Macho Man passed, but he mentioned it after.
No, I think
Macho
you got it right
Man
the first time. I think they buried that hatchet after he passed, yeah.
Yeah, Macho Man and I were friends at the very end. Jack.
I took out the old spirit board, brother. I put my hands on that planchette. I said, Ghost of Randy Macho Man, do you forgive me? And he said, yes, brother.
Yeah, it went down to the yes, and then it started spelling out brother.
No, and then he has a special board that also has
okay.
Because it comes up so often when the spirits are talking to him. They seem to use his voice for some reason.
So, because of the steroid scandal, he was going to get out of the wrestling business for a while and go do Thunder in Paradise, which I just learned today also killed a man's career. He was pretty much out of movies afterwards. I can't remember who it was, and I don't care enough to look it up. But that guy stopped getting roles after Thunder in Paradise, which was kind of like it sounds like a Baywatch type thing, but Hogan was the executive producer.
Okay. I don't know anything about this.
So they were in Florida and filming, but Linda wanted them to move to California, so she bought a house out in California as well, dude. And so they went to California, and his mother-in-law rented them a house and charged them double what their mortgage was, which, I mean, that's kind of common, but it is kind of a dick move to do to family. Why would you rent from your mother-in-law?
Are you rich or not?
Well, they were spending $8,000 to $9,000 a month. And I said, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you if I had the money you made in like a year being at the top, I'd be set for life. I wouldn't be having to work all my life forever. And he's blaming this on Linda. She had all the money, dude. She had all the money.
Oh, well, why'd you give her all the money?
She had all the money.
Okay, why'd you keep giving it to her?
I handed her all the money because I thought I do the work, she spends the money. That's how this relationship was set up. And I'm going to complain about it.
Are you not smart enough to spend the money too?
No. Oh, sorry, I didn't even hear what the caveat was, or what it's not smart enough for what?
To pay the bills?
Oh no, he it sounds like he overpays every bill all the time.
I sincerely doubt that.
Like I mean, like, instead of one house, he has to have two or like 3 or 4. And it's like, why don't you just have one house? Why are you Why are you complaining about how much money that you're spending, dude? When it's like, just sell some of your houses.
Sell the jet ski that tried to kill you.
Well, that one is a rental, brother. I gotcha.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So after Linda's out of the picture, his finances were golden.
Well, that doesn't happen until the very end of this book. So he's in California, and he's like, but Linda knows we film in Florida, so I don't know why she was doing this. And she started throwing tantrums and using the word divorce, even saying, I hate the fucking wind to the Hulkster. And he's like, how can you hate wind?
What?
And then the Hulkster says,
she hates the wind?
Yeah. He's not trying to convince you of anything. But Linda was an awful, awful, awful person, and Hogan was just a victim, brother.
I don't know what any of this is supposed to mean. I don't know. I believe
she had sex with her PE teacher, Jack.
Again, she sounds like the victim in that scenario.
No, she was.
This was in high school,
bragging
right?
about it, brother.
She was a student.
I just want to know why'd you put that in your book? Why'd you put that in your book? That sounds like a deeply personal, like, don't put that in your book.
Well, again, I'm going to throw this out there. She's the victim in that scenario. She was the child in that scenario, right?
She's bragging about it, dude.
Yeah, but like as a grown man, do you not understand?
No. No, absolutely not. He does not understand.
Like how that sort
of thing. At any point, he does not have any sort of understanding into anyone else, Ben.
Like how that sort of thing can like skew a person's ideas of
barely
what's normal.
Has an understanding of himself, Ben. Money doesn't change himself. It doesn't change the Hulkster. It changes everyone else, though. Cocaine doesn't affect him.
Like that time he thought he broke his neck. But yeah. No,
Hogan does say, don't get me wrong, I was a complainer too. But then he doesn't have any like real concrete examples. So it sounds like Wade Watts in Ready Player 2, where, like Artemis gives him a big, like, I'm sorry that I was a huge fuck up speech. And then Wade just writes down like, and I also apologize. So it's really one-sided. That's what this is. Well, where he's like, I was also a complainer, but he doesn't mention any of the things that Hogan actually did. I just forgave and forgot, dude.
Yeah, that sounds like you. That's why you're still talking about it. But this PE teacher thing, he's saying this like, this is how promiscuous she was.
She was bragging about it, dude. Isn't that a weird thing for her to do, brother? I didn't have sex. Well, I'm not going to sell you when I start. It's too embarrassing for me to tell you when I lost my virginity, brother. But she lost hers in high school, dude, to her PE teacher, man. She was bragging about it, brother.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you
what you're going to do when the PE teacher runs wild on you.
I actually have some thoughts on what you could do.
Counseling, therapy.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'll admit to you, Hulk, that bragging about that, losing your virginity to your PE teacher, is something of a red flag. But it seems to me to be a red flag of somebody who had a traumatizing experience and maybe is in denial about how traumatizing it was. And is
Look,
maybe
I'm just going to say, once again, both of the Hogans sound miserable and miserable to be around. Well, they're both kind of terrible.
I'm starting to understand where Linda's problems might have started.
But well, he doesn't look, that's just a throwaway sentence at the end of a long list of weird stuff that Linda did, and we're just going to move on with it. But he is going to put it in a book for millions of people to read.
I just like, it sounds like she had a terrible childhood.
Look, I'm not going to play armchair psychologist here. But why are you putting that in the fucking book, Hulk?
Yeah. Well, he forgave and forgot.
He forgave and forgot. That's the moral of this story. And Linda's family keeps pocketing a bunch of money. He threw millions into a hole for a house, Ben, because the only way Linda was going to stay in Florida, even though they bought this house in California, was if she got her dream home. Her dream home ended up ballooning into like 20,000 square feet or something. They had to put steel I-beams up. The roof had to be a French chateau roof from real French chateaus. So they demolished a bunch of old French houses to harvest the tiles of their roof and to put them on their roof. And then they also had to have a bunch of backup tiles in case they got blown off during a hurricane, brother.
Okay.
And this is where I just said, yeah, you're a moron. I don't know what to tell you, man. You're throwing millions of dollars into a fucking house. You already have 2 houses. But they demolished one house to build this house. And then he's saying that the bills are mounting up during Thunder in Paradise because he sucks at he doesn't say it's because he sucks at managing money. But, like, you had the checkbook too, brother. Oh, and that nail salon, by the way, was in debt, Ben. He had to bail them out. You had to bail them out of all the debt they were in. It sounds like you did no due diligence before you got married. Well, and you don't take any responsibility for that side of things. You don't say, like, I was dumb and I rushed into a relationship because of her muscular horse legs, and, like, I didn't realize that, like, a marriage was also a financial relationship. It's a business relationship as well as, like, a loving relationship. And maybe I should have looked into the bills before I just rushed in and gave her a ring.
Well, I guess, okay. So she's not going to live in Florida unless you build her a dream house.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like you guys are.
And Linda keeps buying more real estate. They're just in Las Vegas, and suddenly Linda's like, I'm going to buy this house, brother.
You must have had to sign off on that.
She just keeps buying real estate, man.
She cannot take out a mortgage without you signing it if she has no income of her own.
She can't sign off on, or she can't do it, I think, in general. I think you'd both be owners of that because you're married.
It depends. I think you could put it all in one person's name. There's no reason you couldn't.
Yeah, and then if you ever divorced, I mean, you'd sue.
Well, but then I imagine that would be a powerful argument that that's your asset.
I don't know. Divorce court's weird.
Well, I think you'd have to talk about, like, who gets the house or the monetary equivalent. But yeah, look, my point is,
well, there are 5 houses, so pick one.
Okay, my point is,
she just kept buying houses, Ben.
You could have said
with all that
no.
money he kept handing to her.
Okay, you could have said no.
And the money's running dry because I'm not wrestling anymore, and Thunder in Paradise isn't taking off.
If you said no, she was going to divorce you. That's the threat here, I guess.
Well, she's just throwing the word divorce around, you know? Like, she actually going to do it? Probably not, brother.
Did she wind up divorcing him, or did he divorce her?
She did divorce him, but not until much later.
Okay.
About a decade later.
I wonder, like, well, okay, that's whatever. Okay, so she's spending all this money. There's just nothing he can do. Despite all of his natural talents and skills and abilities, he could
balance a cargo ship, but he couldn't balance a checkbook, brother.
I believe that.
The only thing he knew how to do was to just keep adding income on the end and never adjust the spending. And that's why they're running out of money, but thankfully Eric Bischoff and Ric Flair, they are taping WCW, and that's near where Thunder in Paradise is shooting, so they come in to offer him a shitload of money. And he's like, brother,
use a shitload of money.
I could use a shitload of money. I've got 5 houses and very little income, dude. Then he finishes off the steroid trial. And he's like, I thought Vince and I were friends, but I kind of figured he was going to throw me under the bus if things went south to save himself. So I went up there and I just told the truth that Vince never sold me any drugs. He never injected me. I can believe that because Hogan's defense was, I didn't trust anyone else. I didn't trust anyone else to shoot me up. But Hogan has to know that some of these drugs are a little below board because he refers to a guy who is sitting next to Vince, who he thinks is like the backup witness or something, as his drug mule. My drug mule was there, probably to make me look bad if I testified against Vince. My drug mule. That's what you call a guy who's above board, right?
Now, so this was, what kind of trial was this? This was like a Senate hearing or
Steroid
something?
scandal.
No, like it's a congressional hearing. It's a
Was it a congressional hearing? I think it actually went to trial.
Oh,
I think
then
the Justice Department was coming against him.
Oh, okay. Well, then your lawyer should have a witness list.
Brother, he didn't think that far ahead. Plus, he got immunity, Jack. He ain't no fool. For his his statement, his witness statement. But Ben, after this, Vince said he buried Hogan on purpose because he knew he was going to WCW, and also Vince said, "I wish Hogan would have told the truth," and that was because of his lies that he said on the Arsenio Hall years earlier. But he just felt betrayed, Ben. And then he put that in the rear view. He's going to go on to WCW. And by the way, he says without the steroids, he actually looked more ripped and more powerful looking, Ben.
Yeah, because he didn't have a gut.
He looked even better without
I
the
actually
steroids.
will agree with that. I think he did, yes. I do. I don't think he was bigger, but I do think he looked better.
No, he was more ripped and more powerful looking. That's what he said, and
I believe he was more ripped in the sense that he had more definition.
Swelling up, like, yeah, he probably did have more definition because he was fucking gigantic in the 80s. He was huge. He said he swelled up like a Greek god. I don't know if that's
swelled up like a hot dog in the microwave, but yeah, we could go with Greek god.
You got to poke the holes in so it doesn't, you got to let the steam out, Hulkster.
Don't eat hot dogs. He got a gut because he was just doing steroids and whoppers. Okay, that's not how you're supposed to do it.
Here's a strange thing. In 1994, on Christmas Day, he got a letter from a woman named Kate Kennedy who said that he sexually assaulted her and she wanted an apology and $1 million. First of all, the timeline's a bit fucked here because none of this happened until I think 95 and 96 because Pastamania is where she was the merchandise manager, and Pastamania didn't exist in 1994, but whatever. So then he says he kept it from his wife for 2 years. He kept it from his wife for 2 years, and then he said, finally I broke down and told her and that this woman is extorting money from me, and his wife actually was pissed off, obviously, but also told him to fight back. All right, now here's what he says, Ben. He says there's a confidentiality agreement because they settled, so he can't tell you what happened or how much he ended up paying to this woman. But he also says he was encouraged to fight back, which he did with great success in 1996. I can't find the results, obviously.
I mean, the success wasn't that.
But the Wrestling Observer... yeah, exactly. I even said, except you settled. So, what? But in 1996, he alleged he was defamed by even receiving the summons, the original complaint of I was sexually assaulted. That was
whatever the fuck you want.
That was she even alleging that I sexually assaulted this woman was defamation.
It is if she knows it to be false.
Yeah, if she knows it to be false. Do you have receipts, Hulkster? You settled. What do you mean you fought back with great success? You just told me you can't tell me how much money you paid her because of a confidentiality agreement.
Okay, so this one gets complicated because I could
This one does. It could be he's being extorted, or it could be he assaulted a woman.
No,
or misread it. Misread the scenario. It's a blurred line.
He accurately represents every bit of information that he comes across.
Yeah. Exactly. That's the problem here.
Yeah.
you have no credibility because of all the lies and the tall tales and the exaggerations. So even if you really are getting extorted by this woman, no one is going to fucking believe you because of all the lies you've told. You've spent all of your credibility, sir.
There comes a point, like the thing I would say is, I don't want to say that settling necessarily implies guilt, though a lot of the time it is.
That's absolutely correct.
But sometimes
it's just easier to, okay, here's money, go away.
Sometimes, like, I think settling implies some acknowledgement that there's at least enough there for there to be enough of a perception of wrongdoing that it's going to go to trial and it's going to get expensive. Like, this is not going to get dismissed out of hand. There's enough there that this is going to have to be talked about. And people want to avoid that cost, they settle. Hulk Hogan, I 100% believe has sexually assaulted women. I'm sorry. If a man tells me in the same book, I did a lot of cocaine and it didn't affect me.
It just made me jittery. Didn't affect him. It just made him jittery. He flushed the rest down.
That there have been
Ben,
times,
he quit all of his steroids and cocaine at this point.
I don't believe that. But if I did, like...
He didn't have an addiction problem, Ben. He flushed it all down the toilet.
No, but I think you're either intentionally
Now, he
lying.
did have a drug mule, but, he was flushing it all.
You're either intentionally lying or you do these things and you have no idea how much they affect you or what happens while you're on them. But no one does 3 lines of cocaine and just gets a little jittery.
He was just a little jittery.
He was probably bouncing around Pastamania out of his goddamn cord. Now, I know Pastamania didn't exist back then, but like, whatever. Yeah, no, it's like you said, there's just no credibility here. And Hulk, God, it just follows you everywhere, doesn't it? Like, there's just always a problem wherever you go, isn't there? There's just always someone trying to take stuff from you, right?
Yeah.
It's weird how that keeps happening to you when, like, that would be a once in a lifetime thing for anyone else.
Well, he uses this to highlight the fact that maybe Linda is a cheater because she keeps accusing him of cheating on her, and he definitely didn't, brother. And
I'm sure you both cheated on each other.
Exactly. I'm sure you both were unfaithful. Again, he's not trying to change your opinion, but it's all Linda all the time, and he just has everyone coming out to get him, and he's a great person.
It just doesn't add up, Hulk, because things keep happening to you, man, and first off, I'm going to say this. I would love to hear Hulk talk about Vince McMahon, in the later years, because I have to imagine, just based on what I know about some things, if you could consider Vince McMahon your friend, you're at least okay with the idea of people getting sexually assaulted.
Well, maybe the money changed him, Ben. Maybe he was a great guy in the 80s, wasn't. And then the money changed him, brother. Yeah, the money changed him. Money changes everyone but the Hulkster, dude.
No, he wasn't. Vince McMahon is one of the most vile human beings to ever live.
Yeah, he is.
And if you spend all your time hanging out with him, I really find it hard to believe that you're just this pure soul who doesn't know where these allegations keep coming from.
Yeah, brother.
But
He's the victim here. Did I mention that his wife had sex with her PE teacher? For some reason, that's in his fucking book, Ben.
That does.
He's not trying to change your opinion on anyone, but also look at what his wife is doing. He's spending all of his money.
My opinion a little. He might be worse than I thought. I think before I thought he was just kind of like a big dumb goon, and now I'm thinking like, oh, you might actually be like, I don't know what the word for it is, because I still think you're very dumb, but like somehow you like manipulate the dumber. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, he did talk about how no one did in wrestling what he did with getting the crowd to interact. He was also the first person to ever come out to music, which isn't true. And again, this is all just like You just keep telling little lies here, big lies there, exaggerations there. I can't believe that this woman, you didn't do at least something to this woman just because you spent all your credibility.
Can I say something here that may be an unpopular opinion, may get me in trouble with the wrestling fandom.
They're coming to get
even if you did everything you claim to do in professional wrestling. I'm gonna wait for this ambulance to go by.
No, that's the Hulkster coming to get you.
They're wheeling him out of the grave. So no, even if you did everything you claim to do in professional wrestling, it's still just professional wrestling.
Yeah, but he was a big time star, dude.
In professional wrestling, yeah.
He was a pretty big star, like recognizable on the street type.
Yeah, of okay. No, I'll give you that. And like so is John Cena and everything, but like you're not.
Yeah, no, but John Cena's a pussy. He went to get spinal fusion after two of his fingers went numb. A little bitch, am I right?
I guess my thing is you're not like your movie career tanked. Like John Cena's been able to.
No, he had 4 amazing movies, Ben. Okay, that all made a ton of money.
Yeah. Like, I don't care for The Rock's acting. I think his whole movie career has been one giant disappointment. But he's making many more successful movies than Hulk Hogan ever did. And
he made a shitload of money in it, too. He's highly recognizable.
Yeah.
I actually like some of The Rock's earlier movies. Wooden though he may be, he seemed to try. And then there's a point where he's just like, I'm going to do jungle movies for the rest of my life. 2 of those every year, brother. I don't know why he says brother like Hulk Hogan, but he does.
But like both like The Rock, John Cena, Dave Bautista, like all these guys.
Batista is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Batista is playing roles that you wouldn't expect a wrestler to play.
Well, no, and he lost all the muscle too. So like he's not even doing the big strongman roles. So like there's a lot of people who have made this transition better than Hulk Hogan and have made like a bigger impact on entertainment overall than Hulk Hogan. And
yeah, but they stepped on the shoulders of giants, and he's that giant, Jack.
I don't think he is. I think they've been putting wrestlers in movies for a long time because sometimes you just want like a big dumb dude. But like
Thunderlips, brother. Which is actually his most that is his most popular movie, which he is a tertiary role in.
and they're printing Thunderlips t-shirts the same way they print, Fezzik from Princess Bride.
Well, he talks about this, Ben. He talks
Andre
about
the Giant can't. He barely speaks English, and he has more iconic film lines than Hulk Hogan.
Well, that's because he turned down a bunch of roles because Linda was really mad at him because of this whole scandal thing. He was going to be the lead role of Highlander, and he was going to be Little John and Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Bullshit.
He was going to do. He got an offer to work with Pamela Anderson when she was red hot, brother.
He was going to be Little John. He was going to be Little John and Robin Hood Men in Tights. And instead
no one has ever confirmed that. And in fact, I think they even said, no, that's not. No.
Mel Brooks was going to put you in Robin Hood Men in Tights. And instead of you, went with a guy who's like completely unlike you. You're both just
he was
big
almost
dudes.
He was almost the face of the George Foreman grill, but he missed the phone call, Jack.
I could maybe believe that one.
No, that did not happen. No, wrong. They were always going for George Foreman.
But again, like, well, and that's the other thing too. It's like we're comparing boxers to wrestlers here. Like, boxers every day of the week. Like, I don't.
So yeah, boxing kind of fell off.
Yeah, but so did wrestling.
Oh yeah. No, for sure. I'm not going to argue with that. Wrestling fucking fell off a fucking cliff, and Hogan is partially responsible for that.
I guess that's my thing. Is like, dude, you're most famous to like the 12 to 16-year-old and their dad audience. Like, I don't know that. like politicians and I mean Donald Trump was in the WWE, but like, so I guess, but like it didn't used to be that like kings and princes came to see wrestling matches, you know?
It didn't used to be that the Saudi royal family would basically buy WrestleMania. Yeah, we're cooked. Anyway.
Yeah, it's a dark time.
So, he's like, why else would Linda stay if not for love?
You can't do that, man. You can't immediately start off by calling her a money grubber and then question why else she might stay. She didn't want to live in the same state as you unless you bought her a mansion. She hates you.
So Hogan now says he used the negativity from the steroid trial to make Hollywood Hulk Hogan and turn heel. He claims this was his idea, which is false. He actually was very much against it. He also kind of makes it sound like he did it immediately instead of it taking him like 2 years to turn heel. He also says he was an anti-hero and not a villain, which he definitely was a villain. He was the bad guy. And, you know, like there's a famous story where he got booed when he pulled Sid Justice out of the Royal Rumble and he threw a fucking hissy fit. Like literally Sid was like, that is the most unprofessional thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm turning in my resignation. Because Hogan did not want to turn into a bad guy. And Eric Bischoff even said Sting is the backup if Hogan doesn't end up running out and being a heel. But Hogan eventually came around to it, and now he's saying he's like an anti-hero. And then once again, he brings up how Undertaker destroyed his back and his neck, and he just had the doctor burn his nerves from his belt line down to his asshole, Ben. That's how he got around that. You know how nerves just keep growing back, so he keeps burning them away, so he just gets rid of the pain.
Like, you know what else is between your belt line and your asshole? Like, I'm just wondering, like...
He never had any ED from any of the drugs he did. He's sure to tell you that, actually. He never had any problems with it.
All the nerves between your belt line.
All the nerves from his belt line to his asshole, brother. He burned all of them. And he had to keep doing it because the nerves kept growing back, dude.
They kept growing back?
He talks about how he had this procedure multiple times.
Hulk, you just won the Nobel Prize. Like,
he just replaced his nerve fibers with muscle fibers. How hard could it be?
Dig up that corpse. He's the key.
We need to inject Hulk Hogan cells into everyone so that we can regenerate.
Hulk, you're literally sitting on the cure to paralysis.
There is there's a quote where he said that he installed a washer and dryer in his home gym so he could take care of his gym clothes. And I just wanted to bring that up because of how stupid he is with his fucking money that he ran water lines and got a washer and dryer in his gym. I'm sure he did stupid shit like that with all of his many, many houses. Then he talked about how he announced his retirement in 1998 on Jay Leno, but it was a fake out. And then he suspiciously doesn't mention that he announced that he was going to run for president. And he even suspiciously doesn't mention how Jay Leno asked what party he was going to be. And he said, right now, brother, I'm right down the middle. And he's like, that went really poorly. That was a very bad interview. Then he's just done with the WCW and he's talking about The Rock freaking out that the audience wasn't cheering for him at WrestleMania like they were supposed to. Again, Hogan was the one freaking out when he was booed in 1991, 1992, 1993, actually. 93's Royal Rumble. He was the one freaking out, but no, it's The Rock. But now his image is good again because of the match with The Rock at Mania. We fast-forwarded many years. Now he can sell energy drinks and grills again with his face on it, brother. And now he's going to start talking about his kids. He's got to nurture whatever interests that his kids have, which is why he called his daughter fat at age 16 on camera and criticized her for hanging out with her friends instead of practicing her singing on Hogan Knows Best. Wait, no, sorry, he didn't put that in the book. That was my note on his quote. So she was a natural, Ben. She can sing. She was natural. The first lesson that she ever had of piano, she was just an amazing pianist. Like, from the first lesson, she just had talent oozing out of her. And then Nick, Nick went an entirely different direction, almost killing people.
Did.
I mean, whoops, no, sorry, redo that, brother.
Yeah.
No, he went in a different direction. Cars. And he talks about how Linda bought him a car at age 12. Linda did that. I can't believe Linda would do that. Are you crazy, brother?
That was pretty crazy.
And then Brooke was living her dream as a singer at age 15. My note says, Master Roshi warned us not to peak too early. You gotta keep being hungry and striving to be the best, or else you'll get lazy and you'll peak and you'll never get better. So this is where VH1 wanted a Hogan show, wanting to show him as a dad and a human being, to which I just wrote, big oof. Big oof.
They tried.
Boy, oh boy. Yeah. Boy, oh boy,
VH1
was that hard.
had a good track record of showing B-list celebrities as human beings.
So this is when they decide, like, they're just going to homeschool their kids. And
yeah, that's good. That's a good call. Yeah,
they get into a fight, and Linda would just blow up, and I didn't know what set her off. He didn't know what set her off, and this is where I said, "Wow, he sounds a lot like O.J. Simpson now, talking about how his wife was just a crazy person." And Hogan later in this book will say something along the lines like, the quote was like, "I think I understand how O.J. felt," and then he's like, "Well, I didn't mean it like that. Like I wouldn't harm Linda. I mean, I wouldn't harm Linda or anything, but like I understand how he felt." And it's like.
Is this
maybe you
in
don't
the
want
book?
Yes, he says something to the effect of, and it became public, where he said, I understand how OJ felt as their marriage was deteriorating at the end. But the way he writes Linda is very similar to the way OJ wrote about Nicole, which was like, she was the problem. She always came at me. I didn't know why she was screaming and yelling.
Peacemaker.
I was always the peacemaker. Maybe Hulk Hogan was the one who killed Nicole. We don't know. OJ never found that guy.
They were both in Florida. They were both in
Florida. Oh my God. We figured it out, brother. Well, no, actually Nicole was killed in California.
Nicole was killed in California, but
Hogan had a house in California, too.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. OJ was looking in the wrong place, dude. Yeah, no, fuck OJ Simpson.
So I'll give Hulk Hogan this, right? As far as I know, he has never actually killed anyone, except he wants to take credit for killing Andre the Giant for some reason.
No, that he died of complications from his health being terrible and taking a body slam, Ben.
If Andre the Giant... Do you feel like you murdered Andre the Giant? Do you want that?
I don't know. Brother?
Like, he was a person, not an actual giant, right? Like, it's not like you can just claim you slayed a mythical
No, he was
beast.
a giant. He was really big, brother.
I understand. Yes,
his gigantism, dude.
He was a guy with a growth hormone condition. Yeah, but like, why do you want to have killed somebody? I guess that's
because I want to know what OJ feels like, dude.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah. So this is where he said he thought that VH1 show would bring the family back together, save their marriage.
What?
Yeah. That's what I'm like. I'm like, are you kidding me?
How?
We'd all pull together.
I guess it didn't.
We'd all pull together.
It didn't destroy the Osbournes, I guess. I don't know.
I had to sit down with my family, and I said, it's going to be a lot of work. Do you guys want to do it? And then we were all unanimous that we wanted in. But, of course, Linda couldn't handle the work eventually, brother.
Jesus.
So he then says that Brooke was actually not boy crazy. That was the producers telling her to be boy crazy. And Nick was supposed to come off as a spoiled rich brat. That was also the producers. That wasn't who they were, brother. And Linda got fed up with this process, and she started drinking even more. She's drinking a lot, but now she's drinking even more, and it's a problem, dude.
I do have that impression of her from Hogan Knows Best. I will say that. I do have the impression that
like I said, she
was kind of sloshed the whole time.
Yeah, she like I said, they both seem miserable and miserable to be around.
But the kids were still actual kids, right? Like they were teenagers, right?
Yeah, Brooke was like 16 and Nick was, I don't know, 13, 14.
Yeah, I don't look. I mean, maybe
when he fucks that guy up, he's 17.
Look, well, I don't. I think
when he ruins John Graziano's fucking life, he's 17 years old, brother.
Unfortunately, I think that kid should be in jail. But I also think that kid never had a chance at being.
That's fair. I agree. I 100% agree. I think Red Letter Media mentioned this with like Will Smith, but it applies to a lot of celebrities. Why do all your kids have to be famous superstars as well? Like, they can't just be normal. They can't just like, I'm gonna go work as an accountant. I really want to be an accountant. It's always, no, you got to be a creative. You got to be a musician or an actor or a wrestler or an athlete, or you've got to be like an entertainer, or you've got to make millions and millions and millions of dollars. You can't be an accountant. Fuck you.
Yeah, it's a. I mean, I guess that's my thing. Is I was going to say, like, I don't want to be too hard on people who were filmed when they were minors, because again, it's. Yeah, he says he had a family meeting, and he asked a 15-year-old if they
Hey, are you willing to be filmed at all times, brother?
Yeah, and
that sounds like it would be easy, and then it's a fucking miserable slog. Yeah.
They're not able to make that decision for themselves, and if you were any kind of parent, you wouldn't have allowed it. But
hey, he took away his phone when he was driving recklessly. What else could he have done, brother?
Take away the car.
What?
But I don't want to be too hard on the kids, but I was going to say Hulk Hogan doesn't seem to understand that people who are underage cannot make.
Well, this is all mostly Linda's fault.
I'm sure. Yeah, it was.
He will later say, because Brooke, we'll get to this. We're getting towards the end here. Brooke will have a falling out with him, and then they'll reconcile, which is true because she did later work in wrestling for like a year or something, and then they had another falling out, and she cut off all contact. But she basically told him, "Dad, while you were away, I was afraid of Mom when she was drunk all the time. She would be just fly into a rate. Like, it sounds like maybe Hulk's kids were victims of one parent never being there and the other parent being an alcoholic." Hogan is like, well, it is fair that like I was to blame too because I wasn't there. Anyway, like that's the kind of energy it has. It's like, I'm also to blame. Anyway, moving on. Like, yeah. It seems like it's all Linda's fault. In fact, they say they ended up driving her to a psych clinic. He and Linda's mom, because she's the worst she's ever been. And I'm like, I don't think you should be sharing this in a book.
Is Linda dead?
No, Linda's still alive to this day.
Okay, so she has an opportunity to at least respond to some of this. I don't know if she would want to.
Yeah, I'm sure she probably did go to a psych clinic, but also, like, why are you telling us this?
So, I understand because that's the thing. It's like you said, she probably is a violent alcoholic, and she might even have like some bipolar or something going on. But and again, it also, I don't know how Hulk's not connecting the dots here. Like, you're bragging about an event.
She's bragging about it, brother.
Yeah.
She enjoyed it, brother. It's a weird thing to say, dude. That's why I'm putting it in this book so everyone else can see how weird it is.
It is weird, but it also tracks with a lot of the problems she developed later in life then. And so
she had horse legs, Ben. I don't know if I could tell you this enough. Legs like a thoroughbred horse, brother.
I don't know.
And that ass, brother.
Yeah, we should probably just move on.
Now he's talking about how Linda did get out of that psych facility and like just act like nothing ever happened. And then money started getting thin. He had too many properties, and his property manager had to manage them all. And I just wrote, sounds real hard for you. I'm real sorry. And on top of that, he lacked garage space for all of his vehicles. How rough, man. Gosh.
The problem that could solve itself.
Yeah, it's like if you just sold a bunch of shit, you'd suddenly have a lot more money, and then you wouldn't have as much space, and then you wouldn't have to manage so many properties. Yeah, it's fine, whatever. And then during filming of Hogan Knows Best, Linda started crying for no reason at all, would leave and come back to acting like nothing would ever happen.
She just got out of a psych facility. She's dealing with a ton of shit, and she's got fucking cameras in her face.
I don't know what's going on with her. Hogan felt powerless, but he didn't ever go to therapy or even mention it.
You should have told them Hogan Knows Best was off because your wife was sick.
No, brother. They were going to film season 4, and Linda didn't show up, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't think of a single mental health professional in the world who would recommend doing a show like that, period. But especially...
Well, they do go to marriage counseling and film it. So, like, why even bother? Why even bother? Why even fucking bother?
Yeah. God,
I'm sprinting to the end now, Ben. So,
that must
this
have
is
been
where...
hell for everybody involved.
This is where he talks about Christine Plante? I don't know how you say that name.
Christine? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so she really helped out Brooke mentally during all this time. She was her friend. She was like her handler too. Like she made sure she was getting what she needed to get for her gigs and whatnot. She was holding her together mentally through all this time with her mother. And we ended up making out a little bit in our hotel room. We didn't have sex though. Over the next 2 months we did have sex, like a lot. But I took that positive energy of cheating on my wife back to my marriage, brother. And that's what kept us going. I thought that was going to keep our marriage going for a little bit longer. Just divorce already.
I don't know if I've had like an actual, like, my jaw actually dropped moment. And it's crazy to say that, like, I think this is the most bizarre thing you've told me so far, is that he cheated on his wife. But it's a good thing because he was able to take...
We're going to save my marriage, brother.
That sexual energy back to the marriage.
Yeah, brother, that's how this works. Haven't you ever cheated on your wife?
Hulk, I think...
Oh.
You know, you were right about the average man not being able to relate to having abs. But there may be gaps in your knowledge about the average man and what they may or may not relate to. This is insane. Like, I don't know how he writes this and expects anyone to believe anything he's saying. That's what I'm so confused by. Like, is he this stupid, or does he think everyone's this stupid?
Hey, he taught himself to read, remember?
I think I made that up, right? That's not real, right?
Who knows with Hulk Hogan, Jack?
Ay, Dios mío.
All right, so then he realizes when he's getting a National Father of the Year award, which is where I wrote, yeah, I quit. This was filmed, I think, for Hogan Knows Best, if I'm not mistaken. I said the same thing. And he even writes, I think I deserve that award. And I was like,
oh, God,
just so depressed.
They're adding a circle to hell just for VH1 reality shows. God.
I'm sprinting to the end because I was like, I can't keep taking notes on this. This is actually fucking atrocious. He says, his quote is, "It made me realize that things had to be fake in order for this family have fun and be happy anymore. And my comment was, you're constantly fake. That's the problem. So anyway, Linda rents a house in Brentwood, California after selling her house and says Hogan can't visit her. And he's like, well, my affair ended and I wanted to make this work. How? Draw me a picture of how you expected this to work, motherfucker. I want a map. I want a diagram. How do you expect this to fucking work, dude?
Here's how it's going to work, Linda. I'm going to cheat on you all the time. Because here's the interesting thing, too, is he accused Linda of cheating earlier, but I haven't heard anyone named as a potential partner. And I think if he had one, he would have named them. Because he's named everybody else.
He named Christine Plant. Sorry. Did I not make that clear? He fucked the person who was keeping his daughter sane and all this, whose friend.
No.
And,
but Linda hasn't...
Oh, she eventually has sex with an 18-year-old who is Nick's friend. And they have a relationship. That comes up while they're going through the divorce that's coming up.
Okay. Oh, boy. Okay.
So, now he's talking about John Graziano, the Graziano household, where he says supposedly John told them... John was like a fixture of their family, Ben, of the Hogan family. He was always around Nick. They were super tight. And John thought that his dad was going to kill him someday, which may be knowledge after the fact, because his dad did try to hire a hitman to kill his mom, John Graziano's parents. So Hogan could have just been like, oh, okay, yeah, that he was totally... John hated his dad. Anyway, so his son, that day they went to the liquor store, but his son stayed in the car.
Okay.
How could he have had any liquor because he stayed in the car? And then they're gonna go in separate cars to go to a restaurant, and his son hit an ice patch, or I think he hit water, and he hydroplaned and his tail spun. He hit the median, but he's only going 30 miles per hour. And the Supra is just a souped up commercial racing car, basically. So it crumpled, and John didn't have a seatbelt on, and also. Eyewitnesses said that Nick was going super fast, but that was really shoddy. I had my own forensic expert go in, and he got all this stuff. And
your forensic expert looked at the ice from days ago.
The forensic expert got some video footage of that road, and also Nick. He had a blood alcohol content. He was pegged at 0.08 or something, but. That's not, or no, it's like 0.05, but the legal limit in Florida is 0.07. So that's
if you're
discrimination. If you're 21, exactly. It's 0.02 if you're a minor. He does not mention that at all. He also said, well, the cop also messed up. He did a skin draw and he used an alcohol swab, so the test was invalidated. And he just got fucked over. And I had all these experts, and I recreated the thing. He settled. They pled. And they settled. And Nick ended up going to jail, but they thought he was just going to get community service. And God, why didn't John wear a seatbelt? Why are they suing me, Ben? Because John's mom said that Nick never said that he was sorry, but he said he was sorry every day, brother. And I even told her, hey, I know you're gonna have to sue me and get money. Don't worry about that. And I put her up in a place, Ben. But then now she's saying in the court, John's dad must have gotten in her ear something fierce, and she lied there and said that you never said that you were sorry, and now you're suing us, brother, and that really hurts me. Why wouldn't we just all as adults sit down and come up with a trust for John for his care? Now, here's the thing about this, Ben. Here's what I noticed in this book. He never actually says that he proposed that idea.
Well, I was going to say...
He never said he proposed, I'll pay you a few $1 million into a trust for John's care, and every... So he makes it seem like, why are we going to court over this? But he never says that, hey, I offered money for them.
Well, yeah, why are you going to court over it? What's the disagreement? Because if you walk into the court... right, and one person says we're suing him for this many millions of dollars, and you say to the judge, I would love to put this many millions of dollars in a trust for their son. for his treatment and care. And the judge is like, okay, yeah,
Done.
do that. Yeah, end of case.
Done. But, why are we even here at court? You could have just done mediation for this.
Yeah, but I suspect you did not want to pay the amount they wanted you to pay.
Well, isn't it enough that he felt bad?
No, it is really not.
Isn't it enough that he felt really bad?
No.
Do they just want to make him suffer, Ben?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
That
I think you
would be
honestly
the
haven't suffered
stated
enough
goal.
for this.
Yeah. I would say, like, I mean, if I were the parents of this child, I'd be like, my stated goal, in case you're in any amount of doubt about this, is to make you suffer. I will spend my every waking moment thinking of new ways to make you suffer and then applying them to the best of my ability. I want you to live forever so that you can suffer eternally. If that wasn't clear. And if I could, I would put you in a car with your son and drive you both into a wall.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's where I'd be too. I'd be like, oh, yeah. If I could, I would bash your brains in too.
Yeah.
That we there you go. We'll make it simple. How about I just take you out with a hammer and then you can keep all your money.
It seems like what you're sitting there saying is like, I can't imagine loving anything as much as these two love their son. Like you're yeah, you never, that's the kind of thing you like, I don't know. That's the kind of thing Jesus might forgive, but
but they're not Jesus.
Yeah, not on earth. Now look, look. It's obviously not the same as if this was done intentionally. It was probably an accident. But Hulk, if anything, in my ethical playbook, I think you're more responsible maybe even than your son.
Yeah, he kept driving recklessly, and you kept going, well, what else can I do?
You kept buying him cars and alcohol.
But he only had a point. That was the police. They used an alcohol swab to swab his vein, and they stuck him, and they drew blood.
Why was he at the liquor store?
He was in the backseat the whole time, brother.
Okay.
My thing is, he said he had all these forensic experts. He had all this stuff lined up, and he hired all these people, and then he still settled. He didn't fight that. He didn't try to dismantle the arguments thrown at him.
How are you going to win?
Yeah, you're fucked.
Was he not driving? That's the only way you're going to win.
This is beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
But John didn't wear his seatbelt. That doesn't matter.
Doesn't have to. I mean, technically that's the law. If you're arguing John deserves a traffic citation, technically that would also go to your son because he's responsible for the passengers in his car. Your son shouldn't have started driving if John didn't put on his seatbelt. That's actually how the law works. If somebody in your car is not wearing a seatbelt, you get the ticket.
Well, Nick has a real rough time because
you're his father.
No, of course not. No, of course not, brother. He has a real rough time because he went to an adult
born into this fucked up family.
He went to an adult prison, but they put him in a juvenile wing. But there's no juvenile wing, so they just put him in solitary confinement for days and days, brother. And Linda wasn't any help. She just kept yelling at me. She didn't want to help get him out. She didn't have his best interest at heart. Anyway, the Hulkster started doing American Gladiators.
Weird lefty sensibilities. Like, yeah, I do think putting somebody in solitary confinement for days and days is probably not good.
But did it happen? I don't know, because it's Hulk Hogan saying it.
That's also a fine point.
That's the problem. Maybe it did happen, in which case I'd agree. That's fucked up. But it also could just be Hulk Hogan, like, get sympathy for my son.
Oh, I have sympathy for your son. I don't think your son ever had a fucking chance.
Hulk Hogan said something about, like, I can't believe John did that in a phone call to his son that was then leaked, which I get. Like, yeah, that shouldn't have been leaked. That should have been confidential. I don't know why the police did that. But also, like, why are you blaming John?
I don't know, dude. This one is wouldn't have written about this if I were him.
Well, now he's back doing American Gladiators, Ben, as the host. And he's like, maybe if I hit this big, my wife will love me again. She'll see that I'm not all washed up and a big fucking loser, and she'll get back on the Hulk bandwagon. But fun fact, no, she serves him with the divorce papers. Literally his first film there, his first taping. And Muhammad Ali's daughter is the other host, and she saves Hulk's life because he's there. He's depressed in his house. He's got that gun. He's fucked up on some sort of alcohol or maybe drugs. Yeah, maybe he just didn't sleep. Who knows? Hulkster needs his beauty rest.
I'm surprised that's able to affect him.
And yeah, you're right, because it doesn't affect him. It doesn't affect him. I was wrong for even writing that, brother.
Yeah.
And then she called him and asked how he was doing, and that broke him out of this state because he's like, holy shit, someone actually cares about me. Now, also, Bubba the Love Sponge said he saved Hulk Hogan's life a few times by taking the gun away, but I don't give a shit about anything Bubba the Love Sponge has to say. And honestly, probably towards the end of his life, Hulk Hogan didn't fucking care either, because Bubba is believed to be the guy who leaked Hulk's sex tape, because it was Bubba's wife that Hulk Hogan was fucking. Anyway.
This is... There's a lot to process
when he
here.
had sex with Bubba's wife, because I think he had 3 wives, and he might have been in marriage number 2 when he was having sex with Bubba's wife. I don't care. I'm not going to look it up. We gotta get to the end here. So he's talking about like how he didn't go see a real therapist. He was just turning strangers into therapists. He was talking people's ears off, like on planes and shit. And finally, someone hands him The Secret, Ben.
Oh, no.
And he learns to have a positive mindset, Ben. Like Ryback. That's a wrestling reference. And his daughter thought like he sucked for cheating, and also for cheating on like fucking her friend, but also they end up making up because she's talking about how like, yeah, you know, mom was always an alcoholic and shit, and like she kept telling us that you were cheating on her nonstop, and I just believed him. And that wasn't true, brother. That wasn't true at all, brother. It was just the one time, I swear, over a period of 2 months with one person who happened to be your friend, dude. Anyway, and finally they get into a divorce, which is a war, is what Linda's lawyer says. And eventually, it goes into a full year of divorce hearings. Linda like shows up at the house and like wants him back, and he finally turns his back on her and leaves, and that just throws her over the edge, dude. And he does say, someone said that he sounded like he was abused, and like if what happened in this book is true, and I don't know it is because it's Hogan who is telling the story, yeah, that does sound like abuse. But also, you're probably glossing over the shit you did. In fact, you definitely are. Anyway, brother,
oh god,
he exits the courtroom. He's looking down at his phone. He's texting. He looks up, and there it is, that 18-year-old kid who is my wife. And I'm like, hey man, look, I'm not gonna kill you. We're cool here. And Linda comes up and she's like, oh my god, she's freaking out. And he's like, Linda, come on, you know me. I wasn't gonna kill him. Come on.
Why do you keep saying that?
We're adults. Because when he was younger, he would threaten to kill someone, but he wouldn't actually kill someone. Your brother.
If you walk up to me and you say, "Hey, I'm not going to kill you," we're off on a bad foot.
I'm not going to kill you. Also, I can choke you out. I've got 22-inch pythons now, probably in my fucking 60s or whatever. So like, Linda, what are we doing? We're just running out of money.
22-inch pythons and my nerves grow back, brother.
We're goddamn right. We're just running out of money. We're poor now, a year later. Nothing's getting done. What can we do to sell this? And so they settle it pretty quickly, and the divorce ends. And I did look it up. She sues him again because he didn't disclose certain financial records, making it easier for her to get some of his money. And so this actually does come back up after the book. But no, he says, I genuinely wish her all the best.
Well, she got, I mean, careful what you wish for, I guess.
It just hit me. I genuinely wish you all the best, you fucking money grubbing asshole. I hate you. God.
Yeah.
Oh, God. And then he's like, I've got a new positive attitude, dude. Father of the Year, the best is yet to come. The end.
How many years did he live after writing this book?
Let's see. This came out in 2005 or 6. I can't remember which.
This is pretty old then. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he never wrote another book. Surprisingly, he had a lot of things he could have talked about.
I imagine there was a team of lawyers begging him not to write.
Do not write about your sex tape. Oh my God! It was all Gawker's doing.
And then I teamed up with my buddy Peter Thiel, real nice guy.
Yeah, no, that lawsuit's one where it's like everyone involved sucks. Everyone, like, Gawker wasn't great, and I was not sad at all to see them go, but also, like, fuck, man, Hulk Hogan was the guy to do it? God damn it.
Peter Thiel was the guy to do it, but yeah.
Well, yeah, through Hulk Hogan, and Hogan made money off of it. Hogan was running out of money because, again, he buys the most frivolous, stupid bullshit, and he doesn't ever seem to fucking sell it. And, like, then he won a lawsuit, and Gawker had to pay him a shitload of money, and so suddenly he was back in the rich seat.
Yep, he was taking his shirt off for Trump.
Oh, God, did he take his shirt off?
Yeah, he did that. Well, he did that thing where he ripped it that he always does.
Oh, yeah, no. And then after Trump won, he was like, "Oh, but really, we need to come together and unite, brother. We one nation and everything." You know, it's like, oh, Hulk, just go away. Just go away.
Well, then he did.
Yeah, he did.
Okay. Wow. That was. I'm trying. I guess. Yeah, I gotta say, I guess OJ was worse because he killed people.
Because he did kill someone, yes.
He killed 2 people. So, but that was pretty close. That was pretty close to the OJ episode you made us record, which is a Patreon exclusive and will remain so.
You almost caved in on that, but I wanted to do Hulk Hogan.
I almost caved in on that, and I did not realize how similar the experience would have been for the listener. Because there was a point in you telling this story, and it's probably obvious on the edit, where I just kind of I go quieter because I'm like, I don't know if there's any humor to be found in this. This is just, it's just like human garbage. It's just a story of human garbage, just circulating in a trash compactor until it eventually bumps into itself and annihilates. Yeah. Wow. Okay. I do think wrestling and ghost hunting are similar though. Maybe more similar than I'd realized. I will say though, Arthur Conan Doyle, greater than Hulk Hogan.
I'd agree with that.
I think I do trust Arthur Conan Doyle more. Because I think Arthur Conan Doyle at least like has good reason. Well, he thinks he has good reasons for the shit he makes up. But
Hulk Hogan thinks he does have good reasons too. He's preserving that superhero image.
I think
it's for the fans. It's for you.
Conan Doyle's things are a little more. I don't think it's as self-centered. And God, it would be hard to be as self-centered.
This is for you. This is for the fans. I'm not trying to.
This is my body broken for you, brother. My blood shed for you, dude.
He does. Yeah, that is how that comes off. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
All right. Well.
Yeah.
You ready for the rest of Nate's Nightmare November? The best is yet to come, brother.
I was going to say it can't be worse. I've been watching your Goodreads very diligently. Is there Donkey Kong, or was Donkey Kong just like a ploy to make me feel...
No, there was, but then this became a two-parter, so...
Okay.
So I'm taking that off the list.
So am I allowed to know what's on the docket then? So I know Donkey Kong.
Yeah, and there's a Mick Foley book, also a wrestler, much better guy though.
I was gonna say that's Mankind, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I know that one.
And then there's the Patreon voted on a Roman emperor or U.S. president, so I put them in a randomizer, and I got one.
Are you gonna say Roman emperor or U.S. president?
It's a U.S. president.
Oh.
We got Ralph Nader last year, who was never a president. Now we got this guy.
I was really hoping for Rome. I don't want to talk about... There's an election. There's an election this week.
Yeah, but, what am I even voting for other than city and whatnot?
I have PA State Supreme Court Justice.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And then we've got a surprise at the very end, Ben.
Oh, good.
Which will be a two-parter. The second part will be a Patreon bonus.
What? Okay.
So you get a month off.
I'm going to choose to enjoy this as my month off. You and I have different interests. That is for sure.
And of course, as always, we've got our $10 yacht tier plan patrons, dude. We've got Isekai Sensei Sama. From that time I got reincarnated in the same world as an anime podcast. Your podcast, brother. Is Hulk Hogan an Isekai? And then we got Jamie, the Gravy Man. 28-inch pythons because he eats nothing but biscuits and gravy and then goes to work to get jacked, dude. John Bierce, a real author, just like Hulk Hogan. That is a factual statement. You are literary brothers in arms, and these arms are huge. And then we have Jacob Lansky, Jack. He does whatever the fuck he wants because he trains, eats his vitamins, says his prayers, and believes in himself. And finally, what you gonna do when Shy with a Y runs wild on you on TikTok? What you gonna do when she beats your ass, brother?